Shabbos, Dinei HaKiddush. Din of Kiddush, Siddos, Kiddush and Meat Shabbos. This is a statement of Torah. Din of Torah to make Kiddush for Shabbos. Not for the Shabbos Kachoi means the Lehu Kiddush, to make Kiddush. This means at the beginning of Kiddush, of Shabbos, Kiddush beginning of Shabbos, and also show Kiddush at the end of Shabbos. Abdullah is sort of a Kedusha of the Abdallah, they go together. Kiddush and Abdullah are one, Kiddush at the beginning, Abdullah is the end. Haman, it's in the Rabbanon, to do it on wine. The wine, preferably both the beginning and the end. Morning we have Kedusha Rabba, which are a big Kiddush. It's called that because it's sort of a play on words. The big Kiddush is only just one bracha, better getting up in the morning. Make a Kiddush, Ikim Kiddush of all is the Kiddush Friday night. That proclaims the Shabbos as the din is and on one. This din applies to everyone. Men, women, and children alike. Everyone is mechuyev to hear this Kiddush. This makes them eligible, lets them to eat or drink on Shabbos. Before a person hears Kiddush, it is forbidden to eat or drink anything. Friday night before Kiddush, you don't eat anything, even if it's a mushroom. Which means, absolutely, this of course is leaders remain with kasher and have no answer for it, and stubbornness, I refuse to accept an answer for this. But before Kiddush, you can eat nothing and drink nothing. Therefore, you cannot eat pumpkin seeds or holly seeds, any of those kinds of getting in. People walking on shul Friday night before Kiddush, not allowed to eat those things. It seems, even if they live in a very special place in this world. Why a person would do that is mystery. Whatever it is, at least that's one thing that we should not emulate. We should not copy because especially is proper holy to avoid eating and drinking before Kiddush. The Kiddush, may have mentioned previously, we have touched upon this, but there's always a nice finish for my Kiddush. The wording of the Kiddush, Ayed I might get, actually, and middle of the posek, because the Gemara said you're not allowed to stop any posek and say it in the middle of the posek. So, how can we start? So Yom HaShishi, that's the end of the posek. Ayed I Yom HaShishi, and Kol HaShloim, that's another posek. How can you stop in the middle of the posek and like it? The answer is that because the words before that is Sefer Yain, very good. What's very good? The Malach HaMalos, the angel of death, he goes on very good. So we start from after death, we start with life. Shabbos stands for life, true life. Let's see it. Anyway, we've said silently. Out loud, we start with the words Yom HaShishi, the last two words of that first posek. And then the next one is Kol HaShemayim, the Aharon is the whole slow. So we combine those four words, say Yom HaShishi, Kol HaShemayim, pause, because number of reasons. The first, I should say this, the first letters of those four words make up Yom Hashem, Yud K Vav K. Yom HaShishi and Kol HaShemayim. Yud K Vav K is the basis, the source, to actually look at the shaydish from all the names of Hashem. That's the main. Then we come to the purpose here. Purpose is to give life. Anything life means to give nourishment, spiritual nourishment. Two, always to be focused to the entire scope of these things. That's why the Yom HaShishi and Kol HaShemayim said the first letter of Yud K Vav K. The last letter, the Sefer Tevis, is the gematria Kel Adnei. Kel Chesed till Adnei Amach Daliyah to Malchus. To go from the Chesed through to the Malchus. But the Shefa goes from the beginning through to the end. You have Yom HaShishi by Kol HaShemayim, the first and last letters, leave you with the issues and soyas, middle letters. Middle letters that give it to you on Shabbos, Shakai. Shabbos, Shakai, what is this power that should bring Shefa through from one to the other? And the Yesod. Yesod, the Shem Kodesh, the Yesod is Shakai, Shem Delicate. Shabbos, there is this later, there's around the true Zivik. Zivik, Shemayan, is on Shabbos. What is this living of Shabbos? What is special about Shabbos? Because Shabbos, what creates, what brings about anything, and even the Zivik is part of creation, is the Torah connection. There are 27 letters in the Torah, 22 letters and 5 Sefer Tevis, 5 Sefer Asias, 5 Sefer that's 27 letters, each letter contains the power of Hashem's name. Yud K, Vav K times 27, the coming inside Torah is given to the Shabbos. So you have then Shabbos, which contains all the letters of the Torah, Shakai, Yesod, brings about the living from Chesed through that name, which means from Yud K, Vav K, the beginning, fades straight to the top. This is the opening, the beginning of the Kiddush. And so forth is continuing on, base, now this is the Kiddush, if that's holy, so everyone is completed, except men, women, and children. Everyone must hear the Kiddush. A child, less than 13 years old, could not be mixing others. But this, the child says, let us say with him, leave them on, they say the words themselves. A woman who is clear, as a clear, same as a man, same level as a man in this case, and even if necessary, a woman sometimes is smarter than the man. It happens that way. More learned than the man. You had a girl who graduated from Yaakov, who went to seminary and went to further, and on until she got herself a degree, divinity degree, and so on, up in the high heavens and clouds. The husband is a never. Happens. So if the husband knows very little, the wife says, this case, I'll do the lead. The Kiddush, I'll make the Kiddush. The Gemara says, such a case is legal. But in this case, has to show let the husband pay the price. A special curse or something like that falls on the head of the husband who allows himself to take a wife who is then superior to him. And he himself, not because she's superior, but he himself is such a nothing hero. His father that he's close to learn the brachas. It's not a question of learning Torah, learning depth, just learn the brachas. Learn to read the brachas and say to yourself, if father to that, he deserves the worst punishment. That is to have a wife who rules over him. That is in itself. However, still, important to note that what the great thing, because women are completed is din of Kiddush. Din of Kiddush, as we said, is wine. Friday night, the fee of his wine, a person should select. Possible, select the best wine possible. It's true that only on Pesach we have a halacha, because we must have red wine. Also, we have red wine because the red wine is a symbol of blood, symbol of the miracle. Time. But still, since red wine is better than white wine, therefore it's best that during the year too, the Shabbos the person should have red wine. And still, Shulchan is sort of accepted to take the other kind, the white wine, because the taste there, the taste of the wine that is still, wine there, food there, and the air there, everything there is definitely superior to anything else. But here, Balachafas here, in football, a person should strive to drink red wine, kosher wine, the Yain Mucha, the best kind of wine, nothing better than Gehenna, of course, is Gan Eden. The person should select a wine that is really top. And so making this Kiddush over the wine, the person should have in mind that he's high-end, that's essence. Or doing a mitzvah, the person should always have in mind, when you're cooking on Shpente, and you're cooking on someone who's kind of that's our study. There's nothing to be dead, to be kind of mitzvah, same as a Kodesh, and a Chayil, Al Hayam. On it, Al Hayam, some will say, it doesn't realize it, all prophets, Yain, and the Rabbanon, but the Kiddush itself is realized. Which is therefore to the Kabbalah, the Kedusha, Shabbos Kodesh, it is Mashpia for the entire week. Live with this for the week. Because Shabbos, of course, is the Yehudah, Kesha, it's supposed to be the Yehudah, which is therefore to the Shabbos, also Bavly. Okay, Shabbos Dinei Kiddush. Time of making Kiddush. We mentioned this a long time ago. This is a halacha that's very important to become so acquainted with it, to become second nature. Time of making Kiddush on the wine. We said Kiddush is on wine. You also must have a chalas on the table. These chalas must be covered at the time of the Kiddush, because after all, the chalas are that important that they cover the entire Suda. The person who makes the mitzvah, he covers the whole Suda with it. Kiddush wine covers only liquids. To make a bracha on wine covers any shakal. A mitzvah covers any kind of food. Chalas is naked, covered Shabbos. So it's embarrassing for the chalas that you are ignoring the chalas. You could make Kiddush on them, and you're making Kiddush on the wine instead. Therefore, in order that the chalas should not see its embarrassment, the chalas are covered. So note how the Torah is so medactic, is so particular about, so careful about the feelings of something which seems to be inanimate. What are chalas? It's not even a living being. At best, it's semeach. This is the second degree of creation. It's lower than animal life. It's plant life. But yet, Torah is so medactic on the embarrassment of plants that a person has to cover the whole often covering the chalas. Imagine then how much a person should be careful in hurting the feelings of a living being, hurting the feelings of Chas v'Shalom, another Jew. And that's why another reason that the chalas are covered is because the mun had a filament of a layer of dew over it. This is the chalas of zeichel mun. So because the mun had a layer of dew, therefore the chalas too should have a cover over it and also a cover under it. In other words, the Shabbos table must have a tablecloth. Covered in the Shabbos table is a tablecloth, preferably a white tablecloth. So the same thing applies to Shabbos morning. The person makes Kiddush has to cover whatever is eaten with the Kiddush then, which means the cake too should be covered. Same reason, of course, a person could really make Kiddush on cake with dilchik. Actually, it's better to make Kiddush on wine, that's how we do. At least cover the embarrassment there. The person who makes Kiddush, one who makes Kiddush, is supposed to drink a specified amount of the wine at the time of the Kiddush. That amount is approximately the revius, which is about the majority of the kais. It's also a mitzvah that everyone present who gets in with the Kiddush should have some of the wine from this cup. Shaila is brought whether the one making the Kiddush must drink that amount besides giving to everyone else wine, or whether it's mitzadik, whether everyone drinking together could cover for the necessary amount of wine to be drunk. There are poskim who say that it could be covered, some are chelik. Of course, the Yeved or the Chatchila, even the Chatchila were necessary, there are enough poskim to rely on that if altogether the shear is drunk, they are yitzur. In case there's somebody who cannot drink wine, he can't stomach it, he can't take it, so if he hears the Kiddush, he's yitzur with the others drinking the wine. As long as the amount of wine is drunk, However, the Chatchila, it is best that everyone present drinks a little bit of that wine from the Kaisen, which is zeichet to true Kiddush, we Kiddush ourselves, purify ourselves, pine ourselves, zeichet to see, the Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and yes, God, zeichet to hang on with it. Shabbos Sukkos Kiddush. The thing is that you're supposed to make Kiddush at night. We said that's the main Kiddush, and then Kiddush in the morning. The main Kiddush at night is the Vayachulu and the Bracha. You mentioned previously that this Kiddush contains 70 words. Vayachulu is 35 words, the Bracha is 35 words too. 70 is ayin, that's the eye. Where the eye receives a cure through the Kiddush, which is made over wine. The ayin is being likely as 70 also on this whole long Kiddush that proclaims the Shabbos Kiddush is Friday night. However, the Kiddush in the morning, which is less important and therefore much shorter, just the breaking up, and still should be made on wine too. If there is no wine, the person prefers to make it on whiskey, but he's got the drink. He's got to make it in a full-size cup. You can't make it in a small little whiskey glass. So he who can brave the terror of the whole whiskey glass, welcome to it. That's the difference. Right? You cannot make it in a whiskey glass. This is called Kidusha Rabor, Rosh Hashanah, which is the big Kiddush. The big Kiddush means just one single bracha, and that's it. One similarity, though, is that you cannot eat or drink even water before you make Kiddush in the morning as well as at night. Just as Friday night you cannot drink anything before Kiddush, so too in the morning. No matter how much later it is after Musaf, you first must make Kiddush before you're allowed to eat or drink anything at all. Also, the Gemara says that the posek the Arizal Shabbos Einig, which teaches us that where you proclaim the Shabbos, there must be the Einig of a meal. You cannot be Yetzer with Kiddush just by making the Kiddush and by drinking wine. It must be part of a meal. Part of a meal means at least a kazayas of cake in addition to the wine. Fruit is not enough. You must have a kazayas of cake. That makes it a meal. And then you have a Yetzer Kiddush. So that, for example, if you have Kiddush in shul, and you have the wine and the kazayas of cake, you can then go home and sit down to a meal without making Kiddush in your house, and all because you already Yetzay the mitzvah of Kiddush. But this is only if you had the so-called meal in Einig Shabbos where you made the Kiddush, and not just making Kiddush alone of a bit of wine. First, it's not Yetzay with the Kiddush at all. So that the thing is that you must have wine plus cake, or if you want, you're going to have wine in place of cake, which means, according to some poskim, the answer with Kiddush B'Bracha, you have to drink the majority in a cup, and then instead of the cake, you have another cup of wine besides that. So with 2 cups, it will give you a double head, 2 cups, and drinking 2 cups of wine. And with that, you're Yetzay Kiddush because an additional cup of wine is considered the Teshuva. This is in both Friday night and Shabbos morning. The person must have the Kiddush, the Mokum Suda, in order to be Yetzay the mitzvah of Kiddush. If a person is very hungry, cannot wait, and his chassid drags out the davening long, then they start davening late, as in some shuls, then he is permitted to make Kiddush after Shabbos, before Musaf. The person is not required to wait until after Musaf to make Kiddush, or say there are women who need Kiddush made earlier. They cannot make it themselves, so the man is allowed to make Kiddush for them. But he waits himself too, as long as it's after Shabbos. Before Shabbos he cannot, because this din to us is very simple. It's very simple because we know that even in the weekdays too, we cannot eat or drink before davening. And it was said not even a glass of water before davening ever. The Very Kodesh too stresses that point. never to drink even a glass of water. Well, indeed, there's a shaila. Maybe this will drink water, nothing else. Some, of course, go further. Water plus 6-course meal. But the point is, Zohar Kodesh, Arizal stresses that very strongly. Arizal testified that in all his lifetime he never drank water before davening at all. In the winter too. So surely, posek on Shabbos Kodesh, surely a person should not eat or drink before Shabbos. You cannot make kiddush before Shabbos, let's say. You have to wait at least till after Shabbos, preferably naturally until after Musa. Normal way of davening. But if a person is hungry for an important reason, he could make kiddush after Shabbos before Musa. Like on Simchas Torah, we do it some long davening afterwards. You may make kiddush after Shabbos. You get some with the kiddush, welcome Suda with cake, and then after Musa, you go straight to the meal without having to worry about kiddush anymore. To fulfill the mitzvahs of kiddush, Mamshech draw upon ourselves the kedusha, Shabbos Kodesh, which is the kedusha of Yerushalmi Bavly, and the city of Yehuda, they call us Shabbos. It is that a person, everyone is required to men and women alike, required on Shabbos to eat shalosh sudas, 3 meals on Shabbos. As a machlokes in the Gemara, actually, whether a person required to eat 3 meals or 4 meals. Like in the Chachamim will say 3 meals on Shabbos, 1 at night, Friday night, and 2 on Shabbos morning. Third one is called shalosh sudas. It's called shalosh sudas, which means 3 meals, but it's called because this completes the mitzvah shalosh sudas. It's the 3rd meal. Actually, some call it suda shlishis, which is being technical about it. You cannot leave, you cannot desert the name that's been called through all these generations. Shalosh sudas, which means 3 meals, but the completion. Then the Gemara says that Rabbi Chitka says that a person should eat 4 meals, 1 on Friday night and 3 on Shabbos. Because he says that 3 meals must be on Shabbos by day alone. It remains like the Chachamim, of course. However, if the person wants to, he could eat a 4th meal. It's called a chitka suda. There are some who do that. They eat an extra meal on Shabbos. As an excuse, they say this is a chitka suda. And of course, it is a mitzvah because they're not saying you're not allowed to eat 4 or 5 or 10 meals on Shabbos. You're allowed to. They say the minimum is 3 meals. Chitka says the minimum is 4 meals. However, if a person eats as many meals as he eats, and he should be deducted to have Lechem Mishnah. Lechem Mishnah on Shabbos is very, very vital because the fact that this refers to moon, this refers to the fact that there was double amount of moon for Shabbos, refers to the Shema. Many reasons. The mitzvah of having Lechem Mishnah Dafka on Shabbos, 2 chalos to make a mitzvah on it every single meal. Especially, most seriously, a person should take the 3rd meal, shalosh sudas. In that meal there are people who are take it lightly. It's zalzel to a degree. Some people regard it as unimportant, chas v'sholem. Some say that you can just skim over fruit or at least a piece of cake, which is also considered like a meal. Now this is true with derech gadol. Derech gadol means it should happen to somebody else, not to a Jew himself. Because if a person would look into the mitzvah of shalosh sudas, what the Zohar Kodesh says about it, and in fact, know that the first meal is called Kalta Fuchi Kadisha, which means the Malchus, which means the Shekhinah Kedisha, covered the Shekhinah Kedisha, the first meal. The second meal in the morning is Kineged Atika Kadisha. You say Askinu Zadas, you'll notice those words. Tori Suda saw the Atika Kadisha. This second one is the Suda of Atika Kadisha, which is the Keser. Of the Semitas, top one of the Semitas. That's why the most important meal is the one on Shabbos morning. The person who has only 2 chalas, has only food, or let's say has only good meat, 1 meal, which one should he stress most? The best food should be given at which meal? Friday night or Shabbos morning. And instead, note that the Kiddush of Friday night is more important than the Kiddush of Shabbos morning, because that proclaims the Shabbos. But the Suda of Shabbos morning is more choshev than the Suda of Friday night. That's the Suda of Atik Kiddush B'Kesef. Third meal, Dohi Suda Sot is the Eram. This is the Suda of, it's called the Chosum, it's an Anton Kodesh Baruch Hu. Now it becomes combined with the Shekhinah. Milchu, we say, Milchu Vom. Shabbos, Friday night is Milchu Vom. That's the Talmud Bavly Kala. It's the Kala, that's the Shekhinah. Milchu Voi for Shabbos morning. Keser, Milchu Vom. Combination of the Anton, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the Shekhinah. So at that meal, that's the wedding feast, the person should belittle that Chas v'Shalom. You have to know that the tactic in that meal, especially say this meal bonus that it says that a person, each Kalashus will be saved from the Chevle Mashiach, the problems that will be set in the world. The time Mashiach comes, the wars, the time is Ged Magai, and Dino Shal Gehenna, all these things are the vital items that the Zechus of Shalashus gives to a person. Therefore, a person should be very careful then, too, not just for the meal, but to see that he has Lecha Mishnah. As Arizal says, to see to it that at all costs he should have a piece of fish, no matter how big or how small, a piece of fish that covers this Suda of Shalashus. Again, all these dinim apply equally to men and to women. We should be zecher to fill this mitzvah. Of course, the Kodesh says too that these three meals are included in the word Shabbos. The word Shabbos Kodesh is Shin Bas. Bas is the Bas Ayin, the cornea of the eye of the Bas Melech, the Shechina. Shechina, which is present at the Shin, the three heads. Those are the three Avos. Aharon and Yaakov, which represent the three Sudas on Shabbos. That's the completion of the mitzvah of Shabbos. So the completeness, the emes, the shleimus, this, to see the Shabbos, Shlosh Chavai, this Kodesh, the Yeshua, this Mishpayach. Okay, Shabbos, Kodesh. We spoke about the Kiddush on Shabbos and about the Shalashudis, 3 meals on Shabbos. Shabbos brought whether there is a connection between the two. Because there are posek who say, and there are Amen Hagim, you can make Kiddush on Friday night, again on Shabbos morning, and again at Shalashudis. In fact, if you look at the small siddur, it's Kiddush Agasa, you'll find Al Kim Beidach, you'll find the same Kiddush as in the morning, with a very Pri Agafim. For those who are naik, they have Kiddush 3 times. The Kiddush of Friday night, as we said, is the most important. Meaning for Friday night is it's also whether a person should sit or stand at that Kiddush. Some say that he should sit, stand for Bayachulu, and sit for the second bracha. Some say he should sit for the whole thing. Also, the again. Arizal says that you must stand for the entire Kiddush. Standing is always a sign, a greater sign of what the Hecheretz, more covered, or Yidas are covered for any mitzvah. In fact, in davening. Our meaning is definitely to stand. At the same time, what do you do while listening to Kiddush? And it says too that I mentioned previously too that the eyes of a person are affected during the week. As a shalom, they are harmed by certain actions not sins. The person who takes big steps, the Gemara says, giant steps, that affects the eyesight. The eyes are weakened, and they are corrected by the Kiddush of Shabbos. So the thing is that on Friday night's Kiddush, the person should be very careful, particular, medactic, to look at the candles during the time that the Bayachulu is said, then switch to the wine for the rest of the Kiddush. Look at the wine. They say Einav Bekais Yayin. Many Kodesh brings it. Arizal explains, Arizal shows many times throughout the Zaydik Kodesh how important this is, the Sedus
many sagas that are totally in this. The Shekhinah, the elevation of the Shekhinah is totally in this. This is Eina, the case shall Yayin. Ayin is being not be a Yayin. Ayin is not be a wine. This is Eina, the case. The case is being not be. This is the case of the Menachem Mendel Schneerson, so that the combination of the Malchus, the Torah law, that is given Koyach, notice the Yayin, which is actually the higher part, the Yudna of so it's through a person looking at the wine. This refers to looking at the wine, not for Kiddush, at all times. Every time Kiddush is made. It refers also to Bekas HaMazon. This naturally means the one who's making who's saying the Bekas HaMazon, in case he does it with a taste. And also the wine of Havdalah. Remember that these are all called Kiddush too. Something that is Kiddush, saying over wine. It's going to be nice saying Eina Bekas. It's also Libni Shapita Lesla Einen. Malchus doesn't have any eyes, and is Yaakov blind. And you give eyes by putting your eyes. Mason Enoch, he doesn't say he should look. He's stuck on it. Mason Enoch should give his eyes to the Malchus. Now this is Friday night. The Shabbos morning, as you said, just in the test itself. Shabbos afternoon for Shalashudas, the same thing. However, our meaning is, as is known, when we do not make Kiddush Shabbos afternoon for Shalashudas, and we are careful too for that reason. After benching, once you bench, you have the Isser of not drinking or eating anything before Havdalah. If you make Kiddush, or if you use the kais, the Bekas HaMazon, there is the kais shel barach, they drink from it, so that's a stira. That is why on Shalashudas we definitely avoid using any wine, whether it's before the meal or after the meal, during the meal even. We avoid the Menachem Mendel as a Shemzechet to the Kaddish ourselves throughout. Kabbalah ourselves, the Kedusha that comes from the Shekhinah, we should see. We should have a ticket for our eyes, and our eyes should be Zechet to see if the yesterday is going to be. Luchais Tainus Sibur. We divert today temporarily. Today is Asara B'Teves. Just for today, we'll go off topic. Halacha is kindness. Asara B'Teves is the time. The reason for the tonus is that this is the day in which the Nebuchadnezzar Harosha besieged Yerushalmi, placed it under a heavy siege, which ultimately caused the Khurban place of image. Therefore, this day we fast. Asara B'Teves is the only one of the Tanesim ever that could come out on a Friday. This day, of course, is also another sense to us is a day of Kedusha because it is the Hidulah of R Nosson. Therefore, it's an interesting halacha brought to the Shilah Kodesh, which says that the Gemara tells us that there is a halacha, Zayda did, which the Chachamim wanted to place upon the Jews, but they did not, because they felt that they cannot place a Zayda on the Jews where the Sibur couldn't take it. The majority couldn't take a Zayda of that magnitude. To tell Jews they should not eat meat anymore because the mourn over the Churban Mikdash was too much of a difficulty. Place other harsh decrees on them. Therefore, they released the Jews from this Gezeda. Yaakov says that the halacha is this statement that if there is a person, a Jew, who feels that he himself is not of that great tzibur, where the decree is too harsh for him, and he is bound by that gezerah, he must fulfill that gezerah. We have a case at hand. These Tanesim, aside from Tisha B'Av, we have The other three are sort of a teves, Shavuos B'Tammuz, and B'Nayim, where the minhag is that the fast begins in the morning, not the night before like Teshuva. Why so? Why are these three different than Teshuva? Because the Aharon felt it was too difficult to place a jahash decree upon the Jews. The majority couldn't take it. Once a year they could do it, besides Kippur. They give them this difficulty, it's too harsh. However, according to this, the person who feels that he is that metal, he's able to, should take it upon himself to fast the night before, just like Teshuva. In fact, the kiruv, the only going possibly the person should do that. Other places can also. Some of them say a person should conduct himself on all the times in the same manner. In this case, we might have that thought, might have that guilty thought that perhaps we should be more strict, and so in the teves we should adopt that more strict halacha of fasting the night before. In our case, though, we have no doubts because we know that this is the night, Arizal, the night that is celebrated, the night it's a mitzvah to Tikuney Zohar, Shudas mitzvah. So we have this halacha clear in our minds. We could definitely eat the night before. The day of Tisha, the day of Aseret Teves, is one in which we have a regular tennis. The custom is that the morning we lay in, we say by Chal, Vinu Alkeinu. The Mincha also is supposed to do the same thing. However, since this is a tennis that comes out on a Friday, Mincha, already there is a halacha, there is no tachnun, the Mincha on Friday, end of Shabbos Kodesh. There is no sadness, so we cannot go on Friday afternoon. We're going to lay by a chal with maftir, but there is no Avinu Alkeinu on this afternoon. Tainus ends as soon as Shabbos begins. There's no Tainus on Shabbos. But since we cannot eat until the day is over, plus the fact you cannot eat before Kiddush, therefore you must finish the Tainus properly. The person cannot say that I usually take upon myself the Shabbos much earlier, and therefore I light candles after Plag Mincha, I'll daven while it's still light, take Shabbos early, and then I'll be through with the Tainus. The person cannot do that. In this case, he must prolong the Shabbos davening until the time of the day is ended. That we have to daven night at the regular time. But even if a person finishes the night before, he still must wait with the Kiddush until a prescribed time. Because the Kiddush is the end of the Tainus. The Kiddush is the first thing you have at the end of the Tainus. We should be clear that this Tainus too shall be converted into a new day of Simcha for the party as well. Shmuel will come and see the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash. The third Beis HaMikdash, the final one built by Hashem. Hashem says, faith in me, as I have destroyed the first one, I cause its destruction by fire. And I shall rebuild the third and final of myself with a fire from heaven. It will become revealed suddenly in our time. We will see the coming of Mashiach later tonight. Shabbos. Soon as Shabbos, night in which we have covered before, but we had it in a different time. Really, sometimes it pays to repeat certain halachas, get them very solidly implanted in the person's memory. While the Torah requires review, Payim Shemaya Tishma. The Lord says if you want to learn Torah, you must first review the old, and you'll understand the new better. So if we review halacha, it pays. At least you know this halacha, you won't forget. And then since he's supposed to make a mitzvah on 2 chalas, Lechem Mishnah. Lechem Mishnah, double, maybe 1. These 2 chalas, of course, you're only going to cut one of them at the time you make the mitzvah. Each will only 1. Your piece of the mitzvah, you only do 1 challah. Which one of those 2 chalas are you supposed to cut from? The chalas are not to be kept side by side, but one on top of the other. The difference between the sudas. The first suda, that's Friday night, the challah you're going to eat from is the bottom one. Make the mitzvah, you cut the bottom challah. The rest of the Sudas, Shabbos morning, Shabbos afternoon. And also, on Yom Tov comes out in the middle of the week. And Yom Tov evening, say the evening of Shavuot, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, middle of the week, then you make the bracha on the top challah. The only time the bracha is made on the bottom challah is Friday night. Only then. The reason is that Friday night stands for Hakal, Hakal Tafulchin Kadisha, which means the Shechina, which means the Malchus, which means the Nukva. The Nukva, the Keva, what is meant by Zohar and Keva in general? You speak about something heavily male and female. Arizal says the very heavy chayim curse that anyone, Chas v'Shalom, will imagine in his mind, speaking words of Kabbalah about Zohar and Keva and Mala, K, above K, and Zohar and Keva, that refers to literally male and female Chas v'Shalom. Use those terms, male and female, because always male is the provider, and female is the receiver. Male gives, it's called the mashpia, who gives the shefa, and the keva is the mekabel. So if there is a man who is mekabel, a poor man is called nukva. The ashir, rich man, is called nukva, zohar. The only who receives the matbeh, the kohen, is called nukva. Always, zohar is the mashpia, the nukva is the mekabel. And therefore, always the shefa comes from above to below, never the other way. Shefa comes from above. That's why only we say that the Zohar is on top and the Keva is on bottom. And that is why, since we now are going to eat the challah, Friday night, refers to the kakao, to the nukva, therefore, we make a mitzvah on the bottom challah. Taz asks that they did in all mitzvahs. You're not allowed to bypass a mitzvah. You have, for instance, talis and tefillin. Baruch Hashem, now we're saying the shir, there were up what talis around. Last time we said this, there was big time on the wall. You have your talis that goes talis and tefillin. You're supposed to put on the talis first, then the tefillin. What happens if by some mistake, carelessness, negligence, you put the talis in first, then the tefillin? So you put your hand inside, you first eat the tefillin. Now, if you're going to pass over the tefillin and go for the talis, that's insulting, degrading, to the tefillin. Therefore, you've got to forget about the din of putting on talis first, respect to the tefillin, not to bypass this mitzvah. You have to put on the tefillin first and the talis, but of course, it should never happen. Make sure you put inside the tefillin properly. The only time this does not work is by tefillin themselves. Let's say if you have tefillin, you put one in front of the other, the shiyad and the shalish. By mistake, you put the side, the shiyad first and the shalish on the outside. Put your hand as I meet the shalish. There you have to bypass it, because you cannot go against the posek in the Torah which says, "Ksharta v'yesa yadecha." First yadecha the arm, the tefillin, and then v'yelotayta v'yisvayanecha. But there, the posek in the Torah is so important that the person has to bypass the mitzvah. The talis and tefillin, for example, you cannot bypass the mitzvah. You've got to put on the tefillin first. If by mistake you put the tefillin in front of the talis, and you see, you cannot bypass the mitzvah. You have two challahs, the one on top is closer to you. How can you ignore that top challah so close to you, go to the bottom? That's a discussion. As its answer is always accepted universally. All the time, it's tenets. Of course, of this, the Taz says there's a new halacha. That when you do this on Friday night, you must never place the challahs one on top of the other directly. You always have the bottom challah jutting out towards you a little more. So that way, which is closer to you? The bottom one is closer because it's at an angle where the bottom one is let's say, 5 or 10 inches closer, while the top one, maybe on the top though, but at distance, remoteness, the top one is further, the bottom one is closer. So therefore, because of this halacha, we have one time, only Friday night, that the bracha is made, the mitzvah is made, we cut the bottom challah. all other meals, always, you cut the top challah, make the mitzvah in the top challah, and then, of course, you see that both are evenly placed. So the top challah is closer to you. Now, if, let's say, you have a big oilam, not always is there enough challahs to go around. Oh Hashem, here we come to Shalashudas, but a very rich kehillah. We have challahs, always for everybody. Everyone makes a mitzvah on the Mishnah, fine. However, what if there is not enough challahs? I would say the table there are 10 people, only 2 challahs. You cannot distribute 2 challahs for each one to make the mitzvah on the Mishnah. Then it is best that Beitzaya, well, Abayis Beitzaya, Abayis should make the bracha of Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and in doing that, he might see the Eilam with a mitzvah of Lacha Mishnah. He has a mind that he might see the mitzvah of Lacha Mishnah, they have a mind that he yates with the din of Lacha Mishnah. So that when he gives them, that cuts a piece of challah for each one, they have already been covered with Lacha Mishnah, because he was mentioning with that. Only the bracha mitzvah they can make on that piece of challah which they receive. Better still, if all of them make a mitzvah in the same 2 challahs. They're all covered with Lacha Mishnah, with the bracha simultaneously. Then Beitzaya takes the first piece to itself, he didn't buy Beitzaya, then he subsequently distributes a piece of challah for each. This is the normal way. Now there's one way in which the esteemed and they're very strict about this. They're seen in the yeshivas, not just in yeshivas, this is for each for the halacha. And then, because of Rav of Breslov, they say the covenant is where, just like the person makes kiddush, says the bracha, and makes it everyone, the bracha, so too, when he makes it people, with Lacha Mishnah, makes them also with the bracha. Balabais Beitzaya means, Balabais Beitzaya makes the bracha ha-mitzvah, only 2 challahs, Lacha Mishnah, he gives each one a piece of challah, but he has in mind to be making them with the mitzvah Lacha Mishnah, plus the mitzvah, plus the bracha ha-mitzvah. He says bracha ha-mitzvah to cover everyone. They do not say a bracha ha-mitzvah. Don't they? Anyway, that's what he said. How many years that each one should say the bracha? Just the Lacha Mishnah, they all make a mitzvah on the challahs, or Balabais can mitzvah them with Lacha Mishnah. This same again applies. All the Sudas have Shabbos. Doesn't matter whether it's Friday night, Shabbos morning, or Shabbos, or Kitkis Suda. A person wants to eat 5 times or 6 times during Shabbos. He wants to eat a meal, snack, and he must have Lacha Mishnah each time. There's no time in Shabbos that he can say this is not part of the regular number of Sudas. This is Suda 31 doesn't require Lacha Mishnah. Every single Suda, but many times he must have Lacha Mishnah, because Lacha Mishnah is the symbol of Shabbos Kodesh. Of course, Lachem is 3 times the name of Hashem. Lachem, 3 times, if you look at Lachem, Mishnah double that is 6. And well, this shows where does Lachem Mishnah come from? How does Shabbos get this Lachem Mishnah? Friday, 6th day of the week. Tzadik Yisoid is Mashpia to the Malchus. Shabbos is the Malchusah. Malka, Yisoid, Tzadik is Mashpia, gives Mashpia, that's the Zacha Mashpia to the Malka, to Shabbos and Malchusah. See this in the word Lacha Mishnah, because on Shabbos they came down double the amount of Mon. That's where Lacha Mishnah comes from. Lacha, 3 times Hashem. Mishnah, double that is 6 times Hashem's name. You might be a Yesod. Atzadik, Yesod, Mashpia to Shabbos. Zerah, the Kabbalah, Kedusha, Yidus, Vidus. Zerah to the Shabbos, Shalom, to the Yes, Shir, Yidus, Hilchos Shabbos. We once mentioned a halacha, and which requires a little more elaboration. It is that many years that we say Shid HaShidim every head of Shabbos. Shabbos afternoon, we say Shir Hashirim, preferably right after coming out of the mikveh. This is the correct proper zman. And this is the Erev Shabbos. Erev Shabbos after coming out of the mikveh, we say Shir Hashirim. This is the Kodesh Kodeshim of all the Ksub, it says. Arizal brings that this part of Ksubim, this Sefer Shir Hashirim, which the Gemara says is so Kodesh that it's holy of holies compared to all the rest of the Ksubim, because there is hidden in this Shir all these Seidas. Zaydik Kodesh brings in these Sukkah tremendous Seidas. And the more hidden it is, the more Kedusha there is. Just like the name of Hashem, which is hidden, which you cannot pronounce, is holier than the ones you could. That's how Shir Hashirim is holier than the others, because you cannot see the end with your eyes. You cannot see the Kedusha of these words. They are hidden. But every word has in it all the Seidas of the Yichudim Sh'li'ela. Yichud Shalom. When it says Shleimai, it means Hashem. Always. Shleimai means to Hashem. The song of songs to Hashem between. This is the song between Hashem and the Shekhinah. This is Yisrael. So it is brought that one of the reasons for saying Shir Hashirim is, Zaydik Kodesh says, that a person who goes to Gehenna could be relieved from the Yisurim in Gehenna for Shato Palga, an hour and a half, through the saying of Kaddish, Yesh Meidabah. When there is said by the son, or someone says Kaddish, Yesh Meidabah, this removes an hour and a half of Yisurim. Since there are 3 tefillahs a day, Shachas, Mincha, and Maariv, that means that you remove 3 times an hour and a half. Of course, it said more than 3 times the Kaddish, but it means 3 tefillahs. You have 4.5 hours a day are removed just through saying the Kaddish. There are 168 hours a week. Subtract 24 hours in the Shabbos. There's no Gehenna on Shabbos. 6 times 24 is 144. 144 hours. Now, the fact that you have 4.5 hours a day, 4.5 times 6 days is 27. Subtract 27, 144 minus 27 is 117. It means that you have 27 hours taken care of, 117 hours a week of Gehenna left for the person. And that's why Melech wrote the Sefer Shir Hashirim exactly 117 psukim. When this is said, this covers the 117 hours remain. This way of the Shom is cleared of the suffering again. This is a very nice drusha. Chaim Talzal, Schelikin says, that Loshen is that Arizal Gila Soidei. This is Loshen. Arizal Gila Soidei, not as the Olam believes, led to believe that when Zaydik Kodesh says Shato Palga, it means 90 minutes, an hour and a half. The person is saved from that kind of Shato Palga. It means there's a certain place in Gehenna. It's called Shato Palga, and this is what a person is rescued through saying the Kaddish. In fact, that Shir Hashirim could save a person through is very possible. Because Shir Hashirim has this tremendous Kedusha of Yichud, which of course is itself, is Mamtik V'Dinam. The biggest Dinam of actually the fires of Gehenna. You become Mamtik through the Yichud of Shir Hashirim. Shir Hashirim should be said Friday afternoon, the proper time. If for some reason the person did not say it because he had no time, if such a thing exists, then he should still say it Friday night or even Shabbos. There are certain psukim that are written to make up for Shir Hashirim that's missed, as if a person finds himself with no time afterwards. But it is preferable, much more so, a person should not miss Shir Hashirim. If it happened that he did not say it on Friday afternoon, he should make it up on Friday night, the best time, or Chol HaPachas on Shabbos, after Shabbos is taught. Same thing applies to the din of Shnayim Mikra V'Yachad Targum. A person must be Mavi and Sedra every Friday, preferably Friday morning, as close to Friday morning as possible, before Shabbos. Twice Chamish, once Targum, each posek. We went through this one time clearly. According to Arizal, a person should do it on each posek, not the whole Sedra at a time. The last posek you should say twice mikra, once targum, and finish off again. The last posek to finish off with the posek of chumash rather than targum. This, of course, refers to the Ovis Agdashim. The Ovis Agdashim who are killed by Yaakov, which refers to the chumash. Targum, which true, the Blessed Zohar says, refers to the Tzilas, Shachas and Mincha are kiruv. Madav is called Reshus. Shachas and Mincha are Torah. Chumash and Madav is called Targum. And this, of course, is also, Tardei, but Arizal brings the whole. However, the point is that it's a very important chiyuv. Very important for a person not to send it every week, never to fail. If, again, he couldn't do it on Friday, he didn't find time, he should do it Friday night. If he couldn't do it Friday night, he should do it Shabbos morning. He should do it, he should do it before he eats his Shabbos morning meal. That's the sort of the last time. That's the absolutely last time. He should do it before eating the Shabbos morning meal. It's the last time, except in case he misses that. The last time is after the meal. A person should not allow a week to go by without being able to Sedra. And of course, he binds himself to the Sedra, which is definitely kind of this is the Aharon, the Yiddah, the Simcha, the Syrian Jewish, okay, Shabbos, especially, there's a mitzvah to be the Simcha. Shabbos, I think a person should be filled with a tainig, pleasure of Shabbos. Shabbos should be a source of pleasure rather than a reason for suffering. Therefore, a person is not allowed to think of anything sad on Shabbos. A person is not allowed to worry about anything on Shabbos. He is supposed to consider everything done, everything taken care of, and having no problems whatsoever. Shabbos is like Gan Eden. He has left this world completely. The 6 days of work contain all the problems in this life, this world. Shabbos comes, everything comes to an end. There's only peace of mind, happiness, time and pleasure. If there is a problem that's immediate, so he should not worry about it. His only recourse should be daven to Hashem, ask Hashem for kindness, for assistance, but not to worry. Well, therefore, too, it's forbidden for a person to fast on Shabbos. A person cannot fast even for the shortest period of time. No, all fast days are nidcheh, they are postponed to after Shabbos. All fast days that are made because of reasons of sadness, sad occurrences, and so on. Except in Kippur, which is Medaisa, Teshuva, and that, of course, there is fasting on the Shabbos. But a person who wants to fast for different reasons, for problems, for kindness yachid, or those who fast for dreams, R Nosson, that on Shabbos, even that on Shabbos should not be done. It says that is done on Shabbos or not. And this is better that on Shabbos there should be no fasting whatsoever. And this refers to a fast even for partial fast. Partial means for a fast of hours. A person cannot fast on Shabbos even for a half a day, which is considered kind of choice. Therefore, it is preferable, if possible, that people should daven in the morning and finish davening before chatzos, before noon. That is preferable. The person should not fast until noon time. Those who start late or those who drag out the davening, not that they daven with kavanah, but they have chazonim, who drag out the davening with the chazonis, with a concert display of their voice. It's more of a show than a davening, a tefillah. They are considered doing very wrong because they cause people to fast until noon. Usually, of course, that's in shul, but people don't consider the din of eating before davening, so it doesn't make that much difference. But where they do, a person should try to see at least that he should not have to go beyond noon time in fasting. Finish davening until noon. If, of course, it does take longer. For instance, you have a chassidut, you have extra leaning in the Torah, you have dosha sometimes, it cannot be helped. Naturally, then we should go until noon, and not to eat before davening under any condition, any circumstances. But she tried to, he does, the davens his man, Krishma, generally they finish on time, especially with us. our davening is a little extra express way, so that we never have a problem with noon. But by noon time, we have already finished Kiddush and Shir and so on. First, let's remember this, B'chlal. Then too, on Shabbos, as we said, it's a mitzvah to enjoy the Shabbos. Therefore, it's a mitzvah for a person to eat the best of foods. The food on Shabbos should be something very special, because in the food itself there is a special spice called Shabbos, which gives additional flavor, a spiritual flavor which cannot be described. No one in the world can understand, can feel, can sense, experience the wonderful aroma and flavor of the Shabbos meal except those who keep the Shabbos. Those who are Shonei Shabbos are blessed with that spice called Shabbos. So besides the meal, a person should accustom himself to eating